Hello and welcome everyone, Lionheart here, and today I've got some brand new Total War Warhammer footage. It's actually footage that I recorded myself on a visit to Creative Assembly, and I was able to use one of their PCs and capture some footage. And we're taking a look at the Amulet of Sea Gold quest battle today, playing as Empire versus Vampire counts. I didn't have any control over the graphical options, but I was told that it was set to pretty much some of the highest settings it could. The PC that it was running on had an i7 and a GTX 980 in, and I believe 16 gigs of RAM. So yes, we're playing as the Empire under Balthazar Gelt versus the Vampire Counts Leopold Harkon. Also, I'm adding this commentary to it post-recording.
Curse the gods! This is the wrong location. I can already feel the absence of the amulet. And yet we cannot retreat. The retainers of Marbad, once ally of Sigmar and wielder of Ulfshard, stir in their tombs. We could leave this mess for Todbringer to clear up. After all, this is his province, but alas, Franz would not thank me. Ready your weapons, followers. We need to put down these unliving servants of Marbad once and for all.
So there we go, Balthazar Gelt's given his speech and we're jumping straight on in. So I'll be flying over some of the units, as I said, adding this commentary to it when I'm back home. Got the footage from CA. Here's Balthazar Gelt himself with his gold mask, although we've just gone through him. Let's try that again. There we go. So I'll try and focus on what's going on with my commentary. But let's give you a look at one of the quest battles, Empire versus Vampire counts. I've obviously got Balthazar Gelt with his various magical abilities. Got the Spearmen with shields here. You can see the crests on their armor looks pretty cool. I said I wasn't able to check the graphic settings. It was actually kind of disabled. So I asked and I was told that it was running on very high to ultra settings. And again, that PC that this was on was an i7 with a GTX 980 in. Got the Demigryph Knights there, which look pretty cool. Various artillery pieces, mortar, cannons, and Hellstorm rocket battery there, which you can press insert on and go into manual fire mode, and I make a massive fail with that early on, so you get to see that. Got the Reichsguard, along with those Demigryphs. There's very few Demigryphs in there. There's only 24 of them. And you've got the Greatsword Infantry as well, plated up with their armour. And their big two-handed swords. Also, this comes from a build of the game which is several months old. Obviously, still work in progress, potential for bugs and what have you. So not final build. Anyway, I'm moving up my crossbows to the front, and I'm just arranging my artillery behind my main line, because the Vampire counts are going to come in from the front, although they will also flank from the sides as well. I've got my Hellstorm rocket battery and mortar as well. I've got my Outriders and Pistolers, my mounted missile cav. I'm grouping my Reichsguard and Demigryphs together, putting them out on the left flank, so I wanted to try and swoop around there and just create a centre line of my Spearmen with shields in between these two rocks, and then have my Swordsmen with my great swords behind that. And obviously Balthazar Gelt, try and bring him in and use some of his magic. Later on you can see all their stats on the left hand side, and we can see some of his spells, his Searing Doom, Glittering Robe, Plague of Rust, and his Transmutation of the Lord, I think. Put those bones back in their tomb. So you can see the Vampire Count army that spawns straight away. And I want to jump onto the Hellstorm rocket battery and try some manual fire. But as you're about to see, definitely miscalculated how high I'd need to aim this. So I try a few more times. You can see they've got like wraiths and other nightmarish creatures coming. Didn't aim anywhere near high enough. Thankfully my other rocket batteries are firing and splatting the enemy, but I like that you've got the manual fire mode in there, even if I am failing horrifically at it. Oh, I just missed those guys coming on through. And it was at this point that I realised I was being flanked, something awful, on both right and left. So my Outriders pistolers there, spears. I'd already got my needs to start pulling back with my front line because they'd been hit really hard, and they'd managed to flank me with Black Knights already and strike my cannons. So they'd hit hard, and because I'd spent that time having fun in first-person manual rocket fire mode, I hadn't been able to see their flanks. So don't do that when you fight this one, guys. Don't get caught up with the fun that is the Hailstorm rocket battery. Save that for later. Now try and use the Shards of Doom on this unit here from Balthazar Gelt. Get some magic down on those zombies and skeletons. I just managed to clip the rear of them, but it seems to do too much damage to them. I'm slowly trying to readjust my line, throw my spears in to hold at the front. The rockets are still firing, and we've broken a unit already. I've charged in here with my Right Guard and Demigryph Knights into some zombies, and I'm trying to pull them back here along with my Right Guard. And it looks like the cavalry pullouts aren't as bad as Attila's, where your cavalry will get absolutely wrecked, but then these are Demigryph Knights and Right Guard, so they are pretty solid. But yeah, it didn't seem like I would lose instantly loads of men in that engagement, but then I was up against zombies, I wasn't up against cavalry or spears or what have you. I'll briefly pause here to take a look at the spell browser, which was pointed out to me. And you can actually check all the various spells that are available in the game here. So we took a look at the Comet of Cassandora. These video files that are being shown here apparently have like a final one more pass through to go through for kind of like quality and checks and stuff. So these might not necessarily be the final videos. But it was pretty cool to see that you can just quickly check this spell browser whenever you want and see all the various bits of information, how much they cost to cast, cooldown time. So I had a brief look through some of them there. If you're wondering why perhaps I didn't necessarily pause and like zoom in loads and do loads of slow-mo and stuff, I only had 30 minutes to kind of capture some footage when I was at CA, and I wanted to capture a Vampire Count siege from the campaign as well, which you'll be able to see on my channel if it hasn't gone out already. It probably would have gone out before this video. But yeah, so I wanted to try and get this battle and the siege as well. So keep your eyes peeled for that if you haven't checked it out already. Right Guard and Demigryphs actually holding really well against the zombies because they're quite weak units. I'm putting the Right Guard back. My Pistoliers and Outriders managed to flank on round. I was actually managing to start to kind of contain the Vampire Counts, but there you can see on the minimap on the top right there, they're flanking in from both sides, and I'm being pressed in the middle. Balthazar Gelt there, I'm sending him in using various spells. Oh, it's Transmutation of Lead rather than the Lord. Transmutation of Lead. So in we go. Bring the Outriders and my mounted missile units. And they look pretty bad, but actually when we get to the end we see how many men I actually lost or didn't lose. So again, while the Vampire Counts seem very numerous, they're actually not doing necessarily a huge amount of damage to me because they have generally weaker units for the most part. And I'd already been fighting off a lot of their best units, so we can see their Grave Guard here up against Balthazar Gelt. He's going for them, smacking them down. You can see the enemy Lord there, charging in on his horse. Got my cavalry, which I wanted to flank round with my Right Guard and Demigryphs, and I get a good charge with them later, so you'll be able to see them kind of pounce on in. So I'm throwing my spears in here. The rocket battery's still alive. I didn't actually manage to save my mortars or cannons that well at all. They got wrecked. So I got hit from the front and the flank. So, and here the Black Knights are coming back. But thankfully I've got spear units to deal with them. Take a look at them though. They look pretty awesome on their undead mounts. Units do seem to like trying to kick other units. Quite a common animation that seems to be in there. So I see these units pushing in on the left, and I'm trying to whip some units around to deal with them. We've got more zombies here. Spears. I've got my Demigryphs going in as well to wreck those zombies. Should be able to break through. There's some of my units are breaking, but they're coming back. So it seems to be a very similar system in terms of its morale to Attila's, where you will have kind of various waves to your fights. You know, units will break, but for the most part, they should return. They shouldn't shatter straight away. So you've got the demigriffs in here against these zombies, supported by the spears. And I'm just trying to kind of lock down some of the flanks now. We're fine on the right, centre and left. Still need to worry about. And we're trying to shoot the enemy legendary lord there. And I was wondering if I could fire any more shards off with Balthazar Gelt. And I think I actually missed them firing off because I'm worried about him being chased down by this enemy legendary lord, Lord Harkon. So yeah, I think that's the sounds you can hear right now. Yeah, they've just finished the Shards of Doom, and you can see that that kind of brown effect, like raising out, smoking out of those units. That's actually to symbolise that the zombies and vampire count units are crumbling. So that's their morale mechanic, because they don't actually have morale, but they will crumble if the battle's not going well, and you know, especially if you kill their lord. So here again, some of my units have come back, so I'm reforming, pushing them back up, and obviously my troops are much higher quality than the zombies and skeletal warriors that for the most part I'm coming up against. Unfortunately, actually I don't think I lose a demigriff there. I was wondering if I'd lost any. My right's got to actually break here because we've got them in against I think 2 lords. Or I think there's a hero in there as well. Flanking on around there. Coming around the side of a tomb. This seemed like pretty cool for like an ambush type battle. Obviously Balthazar Gelt's marching on through. He's trying to reclaim. Here come in the demigriffs. Nice. Some of them get a charge. Some of them seem to sort of stop at the front there. Then these guys come powering on through. But yeah, obviously Balthazar Gelt on patrol here to try and settle this province. He says at the start in his speech that Karl Franz has asked him, or rather it would annoy Karl Franz if he didn't stabilise the province and rid it from the vampire counts of the tombs here. But yeah, it seems like quite fun because you've got units coming in from all sides. Demigriffs punching these guys back. Missile units are coming in. I really don't like the tracers. I think you can turn them off in the settings. And I think if you hold down spacebar as well, you get a very intricate menu showing you which things you want to have enabled, like tracer-wise and various things. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the big. I think they could be toned down a fair bit still. Again, this is a build I believe from around about January, so maybe they've been tweaked since then with the polishing that they're working on now. But yeah, okay. So that wraps up the Amulet of Sea Gold. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, rate and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Take pride and join the Legion. Check out my affiliates and sponsors, XMG, Greenman Gaming and GT Mega Racing, and I'll have more Total War Warhammer content on my channel very soon. Until then, ciao for now.